Yeah, my oil for my life. Yeah, so hey, it's just gonna be, hey, you ain't got it, you don't have it. Just deal with it, man. Just deal with it. You ain't got it, you ain't got it. You could have gotten it, but hey, you chose to not get it. That was your own decision. So you deal with that. You deal with the repercussions of making that decision that you made. It's just that simple, man. You can't expect me to just, take you out of your situation you wanted to be in the first place. Like, come on, like that don't even make sense.
Verse 27. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud.
Right. Then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the cloud,
with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh.
Right, and that's why we see the signs, man. And in some cases, there'll be chariots surrounding the camp. So those are all things indicating that our salvation is near.
Yeah.
That's the point of the matter. Because like I said, I mean, everybody out here, they just seeing what they see right now. They ain't really looking at far beyond, what we're talking about. Because what we're talking about is too far, it's too far-fetched. So they're not even trying to look to see what we do. You know what I mean?
That's it.
You're going.
It's our second Esdras 9 and 5, and it says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end.
Right. All that is made in the world have a beginning, a start, and then you have a finish of it. Just like this society. This society, as I always say, this society is not going to continue on for another 200 years. If that's what you're thinking. You're going.
And it says, have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest.
Right, and the end is manifest, and we see the ending of this world happening before us. That's just the whole thing, because see, when this society goes down, man, it's gonna go down in the Big Bang. But how are we seeing the end coming? Why? Because the Most High gave us the insight of how the end is gonna come. Okay, that's why the scriptures tells you the day of the Lord knoweth no man. But what we do know is that it's real close. That's what we do know. Okay? So we don't. He was rude, right? Okay, you're going.
That's it. It's just a precept, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Salakia, so I say something?
Yeah, go.
But the time we're in, man, this is not the time to be falling out or to take things personally. One a brother online 3 months ago, he gave me a message and said, the video you did, RIP white people and America, that brought me in the truth. And I said to him, you know what, it ain't me, it's Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. He's just using us. We're just his servants, man. And then he said, look at my channel, I'm getting down now and I'm getting the scriptures. And when I looked at it, they had a video, I think I sent it to you guys, but I'll send it again, about brotherhood. And it was Great Millstone. And basically, the two brothers were saying, when someone makes a mistake in your camp or whatever, and they repent, forgive them, don't hold a grudge, and move on. Because remember, the mission is what? Cry aloud, spare not, lift your voice like a trumpet, show my people their transgression. House of Jacob their sins. That's our, like a company has a manifesto. That's our manifesto.
Absolutely.
If anything gets in the way of that, then obviously we have to knock it out of the way.
That's it.
But nothing's getting in the way of that. So this is a lot of time to think about yourself, man. There's a lot of people that need to be fed. I speak to a couple of people and they've got no one, man, that's in this truth. So we have to keep these works going. Remember, we're ministers, and a minister means to serve.
Yep.
So you're supposed to be selfless. But like Romans says, our people establish their own righteousness. Oh, I'm not bad. I'm a decent person. I'm this, that. That's your righteousness. We have to submit to this.
The blueprint.
Man. That's it.
And that was well said. So I mean, we're gonna keep it moving.
All right. So I bring out one.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're gonna bring out the mission statement. Isaiah 58:1. Cry aloud, spare not. So we're not supposed to spare your feelings. Lift thy voice like a trumpet. Show my people their transgressions.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's what we're out here to do, like the brother was saying. We're out here to bring out this word, man, and to feed certain brothers that need feeding. And we're going to feed you with, not with actual food, but the spiritual food, which is these scriptures. Okay? And that's just the whole thing, because see, people, and I understand why a lot of our people don't want to gravitate to the Bible because they automatically assume, oh, it's just a white man's thing. But it ain't got nothing to do with that, man. When you read this Bible is actually our historical document. Okay, you want to do, because all people complain about black history and all that shenanigans, right? Black history is in the Bible. That's what it is. That is black history.
Right.
Not that old Martin Luther King bullshit. Because what did Martin Luther King do? What was his plan? His plan actually was a nightmare. He said it himself.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He said, the dream that I had became a nightmare. Because he foresaw the destruction of his own people. How they integrated with these devils and everything like that. And now when we look at our people, they don't have their own setup. They don't have their own communities. They're not structured within themselves.
Right.
Because they're relying on Esau to do everything for them.
We was better off segregated. Black Wall Street.
Right.
Yeah.
And Wormwood was fucking, we was living
And
it up.
them niggas was simple too, the Black Wall Street
Yeah,
guys, man. Because,
yeah.
And I say that because they didn't have a military. Because if you have a bank, a major bank, okay, you have to have your own military
Right.
to protect that which you have.
Right.
You always have to have that because if you stacking up a lot of money, millions or could be billions, you need somebody to protect that.
Right. And
They
plus,
didn't have that.
plus there was around Esau, so you definitely got to have some sort of military in it.
That's
Because
it,
he's a
yeah.
gready bastard.
That's right.
Yeah.
Obviously, our people we're simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we're not thinking about violence. Because Jake is not violent by nature. By nature, we're very peaceful.
Yeah, but you know
We're very
what, though?
harmonious. We're very loving.
Yeah.
The military, to think of military and guns, you gotta have like a violent mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like
you
you
know
said.
what though? You have to have, I mean, if you're going to have a society, any country you have to have a military.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I hear that, But that's been a downfall of our people. You know what I'm saying? It's that they nice. You know, but you know what's funny, right? You know what's funny with Jake? Jake is nice to everybody else, but when it comes to their own people, they don't give two fucks about
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, man.
you know what I'm saying? That's just the worst.
Stockholm.
Because it would be cool if Jake had that love amongst each other. Then that's when the real growth would come. And
Yeah.
then also revert back to this. That's when the true growth would come.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is they're showing love to the other nations. That's why the scripture says why the scripture says,
Right, trim us down.
why trimmest thy way to seek love? You're shaving their beards up. They getting bow ties and all of that stuff, man. Trying to be corporate. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Right, yeah. And now this truth is coming out in abundance. I saw a video the other day, Farrakhan said that we're the children of Israel. Yeah, but you knew all along, you wicked nigga, man.
Yeah, he's full of
Yeah.
Farrakhan's full of it.
All of these leaders, they've sold out, man. They've all sold out. Remember, the savior is your house shy.
That's it. That's it.
That's his part in the movie.
Yeah.
And our part is just to do what the Lord's blueprint is, man.
Yeah, and you know what too, and you know at the same time, I can't really get mad at Louis Farrakhan to say he's full of, he's full of it, but she is full of shit. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like you said, brother, you said what you said. He's not the savior, and guess what? Louis Farrakhan, he's not a prophet. He's not a prophet, so the Lord set the prophets up to give out the word. What's wrong? Oh, okay. The Lord said that He set up men that's going to teach you. What is it?
I get that.
Knowledge.
Jeremiah.
Right, Jeremiah. Please get that.
Yeah.
The Lord set up men that's going to feed you with wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Louis Farrakhan, he's feeding you Esau's knowledge and understanding. And what is it? Lucifer the King.
Yeah.
All right. All of these different black leaders and stuff like that. Malcolm X knew the truth too. He knew. But when he was going into Ezekiel 37, that's when he had to take his eyes out from men. Because what he was really alluding to is that you guys are the children of Israel.
That's right.
And by the way, as well, you know what I found out as well? They all knew our elder, okay, Abba Bivens. They all knew each other. Malcolm X knew Abba Bivens, and also some other cats knew him too. Even that one guy with the bald head, he's bald. He ain't got no facial hair. Khalid Muhammad. He knew Abba Bivens too. All of them knew each other. So they all knew the truth from day dot. They all knew the truth. Go on.
They killed him. They killed both of them.
Yeah, they killed both of them, and that's why Khalid Muhammad, he came out and he just brought it out. He said, man, we're the children of Israel, we're the real Jews and this and that and the third. And not long after he was put to death. They silenced his ass.
They all came out with it, man.
You know? But at first what he was doing was he was teaching that Islam garbage. That's what he was teaching that Nation of Islam garbage along with Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah.
You know? But when he started coming out with the children of Israel thing, he started going ham on that baby. They took my ball.
Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 15. And I will give you pastors according to my heart.
Right, the Lord said I would give you pastors according to my heart. So they weren't supposed to each other. That's what when they gave the truth, they were shut down because the Lord set them up to give out the truth. The Lord set us up to do this thing. It's really technically we should all be put to death for bringing this out. The apostles on down. You should all be silenced. Because the information we're coming out with, man, is confidential. It's actually government confidential information.
That's why
Who the real Israelites are, you know?
That's what I said. I think that the Lord has set us the apostles last.
As it was appointed to them. Yeah.
Like I said, you had all these other guys
Yep.
that one of the leaders of the nation.
Yep.
And they all got extra. The Most High put them all out.
Yep.
Use Esau or whoever to take them out.
That's right.
Okay, because that's not the way ultimately. So we can put our trust in the Most High.
There you go. There you go.
You know? The
Yep.
Most High to get rid of Malcolm X, Khalid Muhammad,
Yep.
Dr. Amos Wilson,
Yep.
certain guys, and make other people sell out Black Wall Street. We discovered that Black Wall Street is really head-speared by a group of lesbian black people. They've been financed by Esau. I forget his name.
Oh, you're talking about I'm talking about the women's slip, right?
No, I'm talking about Black Lives Matter.
Oh, right. Well, that's all bullshit, man. That's bullshit.
That was set up by the so-called Jews.
Soros,
yeah, that's
George
all-
Soros.
George Soros.
That's all bullshit. I don't even agree with what they're doing. They don't even know what the fuck they're doing. You know what? I won't even talk about the Black Lives. Fuck the Black Lives Matter.
So like, you know what I'm saying? All of that. So ultimately, we have no other choice but to put our trust in Yahweh Bashem Al-Shai.
Yep.
So, you know, that's why I said called us in, I think it's Zephaniah says something about we being prisoners of hope.
Yep.
You know, meaning man, when you're in prison, you're locked down, you've got no other choice but to serve that sentence. So you're a prisoner, you have no other choice but to have hope.
Yeah. Hope you're going to be set free at some stage.
That's what's keeping us from losing our minds. Who's bugging out and going crazy out here. This is truth.
That's it. And that's just the whole thing, because a lot of these other guys, they had the truth, but they didn't really believe in it like that. Even anyway, you know, and it was well, because they weren't supposed to give out the truth. They weren't set up to do that. They were just set up to deceive the two-thirds. That's why they were set up to do. I mean, really, I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna be honest. I mean, these guys were set up really to kind of like liberate Jake in a certain way, but not to tell Jake the entire truth. That's our job to do. The Lord set us up to do that particular job.
That's right. That's it. Jeremiah 3 and 15. I'll give you pastors according to my heart,
Right.
which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
Right. We shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. Meaning we're gonna learn this knowledge from the heads, okay, which we expressed Pastor Ha, Pastor Gabar, Pastor Ramlab, Pastor Rakar, and the elders on down. Those are the men that we learn from. Okay? And we don't feel funny expressing that.
That's it.
Okay, that's who we learn. And guess what? We gonna call out who we learn this from. We're not gonna act like a bunch of niggas and think to ourselves, oh, I got this for myself. I didn't have to get this from nobody.
Yeah.
You know, oh no, they didn't really teach me anything. But where did you get the name from? Where did you get the whole idea of making your garments from? You got it from the apostles. So let's just call it straight, man. Let's not bullshit it. Okay? And that's why I always get on Jake, because I don't like what Jake has become, man. Jake has just become very docile, just such an idiot. Yeah, so we got some, man. You got a question in?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the question?
So my friend, she wanted to know about what is this whole thing about. That's essentially.
Well, what we're proclaiming is that we're the Israelites, we're the Jews that the Bible speaks about.
Okay.
Okay, the real so-called Negroes that went on cargo slave ships, that's in the Western Islands, the Americas, we're the real Jews. That's what we're bringing about, and that we're showing you that basically this society here, which is known as the revival of ancient Rome, is going to be destroyed in perdition by nuclear war. Okay? Because we're not just guys hanging out, we're what we call the prophets of the Lord. That's what we are. The word prophet means to say before. But who are we out here that's only saved? Who is this word only for? The nation of Israel. So if your line goes back to the nation of Israel, you could be a part of this thing. But if not, then you're going into slavery. Pursuant to Genesis 27, going all the way back to the blessing of Jacob. You're going. Jeremiah 3:15.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 3 and verse 15.
You gotta be louder than that.
And I will give you pastors according to mine heart,
Oh yeah.
which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
Right, and we're those same men. We're out here to feed you with the understanding of the scriptures. That's the reason why we're out here for. We don't really care if you convert or you believe in what we're saying, because it was already written that some are gonna believe and the majority won't believe. It was already written in the prophecy. So we're just out here sowing the seed out, and then if you receive it, then that's on you. That's good. Okay? Give me Romans 3. Matter of fact, you get Romans 3.
3.
3.
Romans 3 and 3.
Yeah, so what's your nationality?
I'm from Somalia, East Africa.
Okay, all right. Well, the reason why I asked you that, they're from the line of Kush. Yeah, so read this. Read Romans 3 and 3. I'll get to you in a minute.
So Romans 3 and 3, and it says, for what if some did not believe?
Yep.
Shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect?
Right, should the unbelief of God make the faith without effect? Go on.
God forbid.
God forbid. So you're going to have some that don't believe. That's already written. So if that's written, anyway, into that madness classified. Right, so it was already written that some ain't gonna believe. So if something's written or a prophecy is written, that means it's gonna be played out. That's what that means. So we all aware of that. Okay.
What is your religious book called?
Huh?
What's the religious book called?
Our religion. Well, this ain't a religion. This is just us reverting back to.
What's a religious book?
Oh,
It's the Bible.
well, we use the Bible.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. But yeah, you guys would be from the line of Cush, from a man by the name of Ham. Are you familiar with?
Yes. It was Noah's one of
Three
Noah's
sons.
children, yeah, 3 sons.
So that's where you guys would come in. But I'll even go as far as saying this: you got Israelites amongst the Somalis.
Say 11,
Okay. Now, what's that?
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. So you got people that may be in that land, and they may look Somali. They may take on the Somalian heritage or what have you, but they could be Israelites.
We're talking about the Philistines.
Or the Falasha Jews. Well, they're not Israelites. They're just Cushites.
Which one?
Are you talking about the
Ethiopian one?
Falasha,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, okay.
No, they're just Cushites.
Okay.
They were there, but the reason why they call themselves Falasha Jews, get the I think it's 2 Kings 17.
They're called Falasha.
You know what the word Falasha means? The word Falasha means false Jew. That's what it means, because the ones that gave them that title know that they're not the real Jews. Okay, or they're not Jews, period. Because when you go back to the sons of Noah, okay, now from the beginning of time, as we all know, everybody was dark skinned. The so-called white man, he didn't come later on.
Right.
So everybody was dark at one time, right? But you had different lineages. Okay? And the sons of Ham, you have the people of Canaan, okay, which the Canaanites would be the South Africans today. You have the people of Sudan, which those are the people of let me see. Those are what you call the Egyptians, or the so-called Egyptians, because their real name is Montezarium. They're the people of Montezarium, right? And then amongst our people, the Israelites, were dark-skinned people too. But our line comes out of Shem, the Shemitic line, all right? Because when you deal with the Hamites, they didn't even come out of the line of Abraham, basically. Totally different line, all right? Now, when you read about the Cushites, their first kingdom was set up on earth. Okay, they had the first empire.
Right.
Now we was taught in school that civilization started with the Greeks. That's what we were taught in school, but that's a damn lie, because when you check something out, when you read the book of Genesis, the 10th chapter, you find out that your people had the first society. All right? Now, when you read about, I tell you what, get me that in Genesis 11. Get Genesis 11. Matter of fact, stop Genesis 10.
Yeah, me. Alright, brother,
I'll take
gotta
it.
go. Have a good one, yeah?
All right, man.
Take it easy.
But you know, though, they might be Israelites. They might be Israelites. They might be. I can see that their spirit. He got a clean look to him.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 10, from verse 1. Now these are the generations of the son of Noah,
Right.
Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer and Magog,
Yep.
and Madai.
Yeah, that's them Japhetic people. Now those people over there down in the Samoan Islands and the Tasmanian people down there in I believe they're in New Zealand, place like that. Those people, and even the people in Thailand as well. Okay, the Hawaiian people, the people from Fiji Island, the Hawaiians, all of those people used to dwell in Europe. They used to dwell there. Okay, until the Esau kicked them out of there. Go on.
And Javan and Tubal,
Right.
and Meshech and Tyrus, and the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Ripah, and Tagoma,
Yeah, go on.
and the son of Javan.
Right, and they even go even in the eastern part of Europe too, where you have Russia, okay, and places like Czechoslovakia and Slovenia, and those type of places. They used to dwell in them lands. Could you believe it? Go on.
And the sons of Javan, Elisha, and Tarshish, Kittim, and Dodanim.
You going?
Why these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands.
Right, these were the isles and the Gentiles divided in their land. I tell you what, bro. Let's start. You going?
The Gentiles divided in their lands.
Let me finish with this thing.
Everyone after his tongue, and
Yep.
their families in their nations.
Okay.
And the sons of Ham, Cush,
Right, the sons of Ham, Cush. Now he's named the first line, the first son of Ham, which is Cush. So Cush got to be the older out of all of the Hamitic nations, okay? Because he was named first. Go on.
and Mizraim,
And them Egyptians, so-called black Egyptians, that was reigning 3,500 plus years ago. Go on.
and Put, and Canaan,
Right, that's those people over there in East Africa. Okay, they're like around those Somalians and all of that. Okay, go on.
and the sons of Cush,
And the sons of Cush, the Ethiopian people. Go on.
Seba, and Havilah,
Okay.
and Sabta, and Ra'amah,
Right.
and Sabtakar, and the sons of Ra'amah, Seba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod.
Right, and Cush begat Nimrod. Now, Nimrod was the first guy to really hold it down to set up a civilization or an empire. We're going to read about it. Go on.
He began to be a mighty one in the earth.
Right, he began to be a mighty one on the earth. So civilization never started out with the people. Civilization started out with the people of Ham. That was the first civilization. Go on.
He was a mighty hunter before Yahweh.
Yeah.
Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahweh. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel.
Right, the beginning of his kingdom was Babel. And that's why them Babylonians, they were able to, control their power because they were mighty. Because them Ethiopians, they came back into power again, just like Esau came back into power. And they were known as the Babylonians. And why did they come back into power? Because it was set up by the Lord for them to come into power. Get me that in the Apocrypha. I tell you what, get me that in man, there's so many scriptures on that, man. Yeah, get the Apocrypha. Get the one in the Apocrypha.
Same one again? Same what?
Where it speaks about how the Lord, He ruleth in the kingdom of men. Right, yeah, get that one up. Get that one. Yeah, so the Lord set certain nations up to rule. Okay, it wasn't just because the other nations, they decided to just come in power out of their own will. No, it was based on the Most High's will, to fulfill His will. That's all it was, man. And that's all it's gonna ever be. All right, so yeah, you get that. And the one in the Apocrypha says, I said it wrong. The one in the Apocrypha says, the power of the Lord. So like the power of, let me see if I can, I'm not quoting it right now.
It's not hard. What scripture is it?
No, it's in the Apocrypha. It says,
It's not Daniel. Daniel 4:17.
yeah, he's already got that. He's got it.
Seek order for the kingdom of men.
No, not that one.
That's Daniel.
Yeah, that's Daniel. I'm talking about the one in the Apocrypha. No, I can probably can find it. Yeah, read up. I'll find it.
I've got two precepts here.
All right.
I start with First Samuel 2:6, and it says, Yahweh killeth and maketh alive and bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up.
Right.
Yahweh maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up.
Yep.
He raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill to set them among princes.
Right. So
And to make them inherit the throne of glory, for the pillars of the earth are Yahweh's, and he has set the world upon them.
right, and you have set the world upon you. So the Lord sets you up. The Lord can make you poor, make you dirt poor, and then He can set you up amongst the kings. Go on.
The book of Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 5. I am Yahweh and there is none else. There is no power besides me.
Right. There's no power besides me. Go on.
I girded thee through thou that thou hast not known me.
Yeah.
They that may know me from the rising of the sun from the west, and there is none beside me. I am Yahweh and there is none else. That's the point. Verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I Yahweh do all these things.
Right. I Yahweh do all of these things. Okay. So the point of the matter is the Lord creates evil, which that's going. I don't really want that, brother, but that's a good one though. But the point of the matter is the Lord. This scriptures where it speaks about how the Lord sets up men, man. I'm not saying it right now. I'm gonna just see if I can find it. No, I'm not. I can't really remember how to really say it. You know. That's what it's like. That's what I meant to say.
That's the one.
Yeah. Okay. Read the precept because I don't. It's kind of escaping my mind right now, so I don't really know how to read it.
It's in the Apocrypha, yeah?
Yeah, it's in Apocrypha.
It's Ecclesiastes 10 and 8, and it says, because of our righteous dealings, injuries and riches go by deceit.
Not that one. So read it. Read that one.
It says the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Right. You know what you are right, brother. It's verse 4. It's verse 4.
4 and 17.
No, Sirach 10 and 4. He's already done it. Read verse 4. He's already done it.
That's Sirach 10 and 4, it says, the power of the earth is in the hand of Yahweh.
Right, the power of the earth is in the hands of the Most High. Okay? So if a nation comes into power, like the Greeks came into power, the Cushites came into power, the Babylonians came into power, they were all set up by the Most High. Same thing with the so-called white man right now. He's ruling because the Most High put him in power. Okay? And that's one thing that all of us gotta gain understanding of, man. You understand? Like everything that happens on this earth has already been played out through the Most High's book. Like when something happens, whether it be a good thing or a bad thing upon a nation or people, or just might be you individually, that happened because it was already destined to happen. Okay? And that's the whole thing on that, man. So is there any more on that? Let me see if there's any more. Go on.
And it says, and in due time,
You gotta read where the camera's at, bro. So it can get you.
and in due time, you will set over it one that is profitable.
Right, and in due time it will set one unto it that is profitable. And we are the profitable people to rule the earth. Now, the Lord has set us last to rule, because we've been in captivity for so long. And the reason why we've been in captivity for so long is because the Lord basically held forth the covenant. Why? Because of our screws. Because of our screws. That's why he pushed back the covenant. But what the Lord is going to do in due time, He's going to set up men that are profitable to Him. And we're those men. Okay, we're the men of peace. We're the men of righteousness. And ultimately, we're going to administer power by the word. And by that alone, that's going to bring about positive vibration on the earth. All right, that's why the Lord, he said it himself. He said, look, through his men, his prophets, he said, areas that are now dry or desert are gonna become inhabitable. It's gonna be greenery now. That's that positive vibration that the Lord is gonna bring upon the earth. Why? Because we're gonna administer the manuscript of this Bible, which really goes into the positive vibration, man. Okay, you're going.
Going into Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon.
Yeah, the word, if you're going to read it, you know what, you might as well help this brother, hold it.
No.
Want me to read it?
This has
Now, you know what, I'll let the word read it. The word you're going to read. Alright. Behind the scene. You got people that are just simple, man. They're going.
says, it's Jeremiah 27 and 5, and it says, I have made the earth and the man and the man and the beast that are upon the ground.
Right, sister, the Lord have made the earth. Go on.
It says, I have made the earth, the man and the beast that are
He
upon
have
the
made
ground.
the earth, the man and beast that are from the earth. Go on.
By my great power and by my outstretched arm, and I have given it unto whom it seemed meet unto me.
Right, and I have given it unto it who seemed meet for me. Now the word meat, I believe, somebody look up that word meat. Baba Kasha.
Right.
That's the scripture. In what is it?
I think it goes back to food, isn't it?
7 and 5.
Yeah, I believe the word meat means good.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're going to further look into it
Okay.
anyway.
It does.
It means good. So, but I want to look into it anyway, just to further edify the point, you know. Yeah, finish that, yeah.
So verse 6, and it says, and now have I given all these lands into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and the beasts of the field have I given him also to save him.
Right, so the Lord has already told you right there that he's given the kingdom to Nebuchadnezzar. He didn't take the kingdom, it was given unto him. So it's the same thing with the so-called white man. He was given power. That's why it tells you in Job 9 and 24, the earth was given, not taken, but was given unto the hand of the wicked. All right, go on.
Verse 7 it says, and all nations shall serve him, and his son and his son's sons, until the very time of his land come, and then many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of him.
Right, so I'll tell you what you're going to do. You go get Daniel 4. Now we're going to get Daniel the fourth chapter now. And if you want to get something, whatever you want, in the situation, you just put it out.
It's Daniel 4 and 17, and it says, this matter is by the decree of
Right,
the
so
watchers.
it says this matter is by the decree of the watchers. The prophets going.
And the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
Right, that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. Okay, so that really includes that the Most High has, now the Most High can set you up to be in power. And that also includes that the Most High will give you a certain period of time to rule for. And we can get that in Job 14. Okay? So let me finish this. Yeah, go on.
And giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basest of men.
And set it over it the basis of men. Now the basis of men, we all know that's Esau right there. Job tells you that. Job 30, 3 tells you that. Okay? But guess what? We're the basis of men right now. That's a pill we gotta swallow right now. You know what I mean? We're the base right now, but guess what? The base of men are gonna be exalted soon.